Hello, my name is Roger Dismore, and this is the first video in this series in fulfillment of my MIT MERN full stack developer course. This is talking about my capstone project, and essentially here in this first part we'll talk about our front end architecture, authentication, and I'll kind of show you how the app is laid out. All right, so looking over here at our application overview, we have it separated out into three different sections: the front end, the back end, and the database. Front end, this is what the user is going to see. This is basically the user interface. This is how someone who is using this application will achieve actions within the application itself. This is for the full stack banking app. Excuse me, sorry. And so this is where they will make deposits. This is everything that they will see. It's a React application, and the dependencies used were React.js, React Router. One of the fonts that was used was Font Poppins, and we use Google Fonts API, and we use Bootstrap as a kind of a starter point. Moving over to the back end, a Node.js server, and the dependencies used for that are Express, NodeMon, npm validator, bcrypt, JSON web token, env, date fns, mongoose. And then our database that we chose to use was MongoDB. So kind of looking at the front end side of the application, the index.js file is used to define the context of the app that works directly with user permissions and login. I structured the web page with app.js, and it maps all the routes for the UI. The pages, hooks, contexts, and components to service all the structures are defined by app.js. Kind of some of the decisions that were made for the UI. I know it says it here on the slide deck, but essentially just to make it as user-friendly as possible while still accomplishing the tasks that need to be done. I always hate whenever I use a web page or an application that seems to be bloated with unnecessary complication. I strictly wanted this to be a user-friendly environment. As I say in the tech industry, so easy, your grandma can use it. It's no harm, no foul to grandmas at all. It's just saying that this is it's not restricted to someone who's been raised up on a computer their entire life to be able to use this application, but that it's so user-friendly, and there's so many easy ways to make your way around the application to be able to fulfill what you're wanting to do. For authorization, we capture the email password. User inputs their email, and then the user follows the character restrictions that validator already puts in. And then we use bcrypt to encrypt the password before it lands into the MongoDB database. We do this just so that way if our database is hacked or leaked or anything like that, unless it has the decryption file, it's just a bunch of numbers and letters. And then for the JWT, we use it sends a header, which is basically a request, the payload, which is essentially non-identifiable user data. Then it sends it Then it sends back both items with an encoded signature. This essentially means that when a user is trying to log in with their created credentials, we're assuming that these are credentials that are verified, have already been created under the create login. JWT is asking my database if user X with username and password Y, but encrypted, so there's no security flaw, can access the requested material. If they can, it replies back with the same data that was sent, along with essentially a digital access badge of sorts that displays that this user is in fact supposed to be accessing this information. That's it for part one. I will be uploading 2 more parts, kind of going into the back end and demonstrating this application. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.